I take my hat off to Joe Smith, Linfield. Excellent football team, but you really look at everything that they've had to go through this playoff run, tragedy within their program, the travel, the way they had to go through to get to this point, and to play it down to the wire like that is, that's what you hope when you get to this point of the season, that you have those games. So, we got off to a decent start there. Then the turnover right before the half, and then another fumble in the early third quarter. We were never in rhythm from that point on. Same for up until the last scoring drive. And our two running backs, their offensive line really made some key plays there, and fortunate, especially with a missed extra point, to come away with the victory. Big questions.
How about the last drive, Lance? A couple of big third down conversions, a couple big runs from Jordan Ratliff, and then the scoring run by Dennis.
Yeah, I think you hit on them all. That's kind of there. I think the thing that's really picked up for those of you that maybe have watched this the last few weeks is the physicality that those two backs have started to run with here in the postseason. Has really been has really boosted our offense even more. We lost Ryan Gibbons during the game, and those two guys took all the snaps from that point on. Yeah, and I don't think Matt had his best day. We'll take a look at the film, all those things, what happened there. He made some big throws, as always, but there just wasn't, statistically a Matt Barron type of day. So we needed that ground game to kind of pick it up for us a little bit.
Jake Kumro did not have a huge day, but he had a huge catch in that last drive.
Yeah, another first down, and there are some things there. We're close on a couple, but Jake Kumro on the field is a good thing for the Warhawks, okay? Because people have to account for him and things like that. So whether or not Jake's catching passes or not, there's sometimes maybe a few extra yards in a running play because Jake's on the field, and it's been nice to that's the most he's played now since mid-October, and with a short week, hopefully we'll get him where he'll be able to keep playing.
Coach, a rather conservative game plan going through, at least working through the game. Was that a product of Matt maybe struggling, or just having the 14-0 lead?
Because our plays are married plays, run, pass, and things. Conservative. It looks to be more conservative when you put yourself in long yardage situations, and you're ended up punting when you're playing against good teams. Now this is the third, aggressive attacking defense that we've seen in a row in the playoffs, and eventually there's some things that teams are going to continue to do well against you. And when you're not getting a first down and you're punting, and all of a sudden it appears that you're being conservative. But if you really look back at it, how many first down plays did we take shots down the field? But now you're second and 10. So there were some things there, and again, yeah, it could be some of our execution, but you always have to make sure that they're coaching pretty well on the other side, and they got some really good players.
Do you think Matt's not having the greatest day had something to do with the pressure? I mean, both quarterbacks were under fierce pressure all day. It was fierce on those lines.
I'm sure there's a few that you get hit, you get rushed a few times, and there's some things. Again, things are happening pretty fast. I'm cautious in making judgment things without. I'm watching 1,000 different things at the same time, and any statement probably wouldn't be a sound educational one there. But we'll know tomorrow morning when we watch the film or later tonight.
What about the plays their quarterback made on that tying touchdown drive? He made some remarkable runs.
He's pretty good, isn't he? Again, as you heard in the back there, it's 3 weeks in a row where you've got good quarterbacks that can run zone reads and make plays with their feet, besides being above average throwers, to say the least, and even there's some. The biggest thing I thought we did well today defensively was, they're a team that likes to throw the ball down the field a lot. We didn't give up any really long pass plays, and that's what they've been about. So I thought again that our guys played well. We tried to go with Marcus McClain, who's been hobbled since late in the Wabash game and missed last week. He couldn't go, and Dylan Moraine is kind of stepping in. Ryan Gibbons had played some defense, so he's out. We got Vince Mason in there, so a lot of guys are stepping up at big times for us, and they didn't maybe always get a lot of snaps during the year.
Your safeties played very tough today, both
Yeah,
against the run and
they
pass.
bounced back. That one, and those two guys were not pleased with the way they played a week ago, and I don't think it was anything that anyone would not have been able to see. And Zach Nellis and Ryan Winsky both had excellent weeks of practice, and it shows their maturity and their competitiveness that they bounced back and both got interceptions. I was happy for them.
Lance, shockingly, Mount Union awaits you in Salem. I know you haven't seen much of them in the last decade. Just talk about that. I mean, is it almost fitting that in your last game as coach you get them one more time?
That's not about my last game, guys. You know that. It's about our players and a chance to play a 15th ball game. That's where the focus needs to be. They earn their chance to be there, just like Mount Union has. And I hope those of you, everyone that's here today, you get a chance to see that it just doesn't happen. Okay, last week just didn't happen. It's not now. I don't know about what they think on their side. Their scores are pretty one-sided, but ours we had to battle back, and we had to battle against a lot of teams. So I'm proud of our football team. They've handled distractions. They've continued to battle and play for 4 quarters, and awful proud to say that they've earned their way back to another Stagg Bowl.
What was it like playing your last game here at Perkins today?
I didn't play.
Or coaching, excuse me.
That's okay. I don't mean to be, I mean, again, I've kind of felt, I've said before, and I really don't want to answer a lot of them because those are things you don't think about until like the next fall. Any of us that have played high school sports, but you don't think about it till the next year when all of a sudden it's missing. So I don't know. I don't know where that'll, and it'll be one to remember someday, the way it went down. I'm glad it went the right way, that we have a chance again. We're going to play somebody can help me. In 8 years, I think this is our 115th game next week. That's an average of over 14 games. So what I'm most proud about is that we've been able to play at a high level very consistently in an excellent conference for a very long time. And that's a tribute to the players.
Lance, for those of us who have to write a little something about the loss of Coach Perkins today, could you tell us what he meant to you?
Between him and Coach Brezowitz, I always said, when they named this building after Coach Brezowitz, and Coach Brezowitz I talked about, I said, nothing to me would be more fitting than when somebody drives to the north end of campus that the names Perkins and Brezowitz are on the 2 buildings. They're Warhawk football. I was told during warm-ups the coach had passed. I know he's been, things haven't been good for a while. On the positive side, in 1984, my sophomore year, Forrest Perkins retired for health reasons. I hope most of us can retire for health reasons and live 30 more years. Okay. He used to come to practice. He used to come to our Friday spaghetti dinner. And all he'd ever say to me is, he'd either ask the players or ask me, are the boys ready for kickoff? And somewhere up above, and I told the players that before he went, I thought we were ready for kickoff today. He was, last thing I'll say, I know it's probably more than the space will allow. Coach Perkins was way ahead of his time when you look at this stadium, when you look at his thoughts and what he's done for this university. He was way ahead of what could be done at the Division III level, whether it be with stadiums and thoughts of, if you research it, he started the safeties department here. He created the coaching minor, did a lot of things for this university, and he will be missed.
Take 2 more questions.
Can you touch on your senior class this year, playing their last home game here, and
It's been a great class. I've really enjoyed this group. I've enjoyed this whole team. Everybody has issues. There's things about each team. There's some things but this has been a group that has been He's got a good personality, a great work. When you watch how they, many times it's a melting pot of guys. Sometimes they always don't come in right away at the same time. But when you watch what a Derek Junikin and a Matt Barrett have done, Marcus McClin, Mike Helbratchett, guys that have been here the whole time, Justin Howard and Jay Kumro and Ryan Gibbons were guys that came in along the way. And it's what's really neat to see is when they find happiness, when they come even back closer to home or some things like that, when you see how they really just enjoy being around each other and playing the game. That's, you know, Zach Nelson, before you soon start naming guys, you forget guys, but our, you know, Graybold's another guy that joined us partway through, but special group, and they, again, I'm happy for them, especially with if there were distractions that maybe put a bump in the opportunity to get to Salem. So for them, it's for them and the rest of the players.
Final question, Coach Leipold.
I know you kind of shoot away these types of questions, but did you find yourself at all looking around a little bit extra after tonight's game, soaking it in, or not really?
Not really. I was really looking for players, looking for people, not for atmosphere. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I guess it is, again, I looked at constantly, you know, I went back one time and I saw something from 8 years ago when I got the job, and it was said it right there. It was about the players, and it's still about the players, and it should be. Warhawk football will continue to be a good football program because of the players and because of the support that it's been given. I don't know if we'll get to see everybody again, at least in this capacity. So if I don't, thank you very much. Thank you for covering Division III football. Please continue to do what you do. I think these young men deserve it. Thank you.
Thanks.